Hello students, welcome back to JJ's physics class. Today we will be discussing about force. What is force? In physics, force is an influence that causes an object to change its velocity, that is to accelerate, unless it is counterbalanced by an external force or by other forces. So let us start. This chapter consists of introduction to forces, effects of forces, types of forces, and relationship between force and pressure. But today we will be just focusing on what are the effects of force. Before starting that, let me give a brief introduction about forces. So what is force? Force can be defined as a push or pull, or we can say that the force is a physical quantity that can change the speed, state, direction and dimension of an object. So we have learned the definition of force. Force is the push or pull of an object. Example, if an object has to be moved, it has to be pushed or pulled. So every day we experience forces in different ways, right? There are many examples that you can see here. Pushing a car, opening the door, knocking a nail, kicking a ball, pushing trolley, launching rocket, pressing the switch, drawing back a bow, tug of war, raising a flag, pulling a box. So these are all examples of forces. So force can be push or pull of an object which can change the state of an object. So either it is a push or pull. Push is nothing but a force to move an object away from our bodies. That is, we are pushing away. Pulling is when we apply force to move object towards our body. So in general, force is nothing but the combination of push and pull. So you might have heard about push-pull trains. Scrubbing the floor, sawing wood, rowing a boat, playing guitar is an example for combination of these forces. What are the effects of forces? Force can stop a moving object or makes a stationary object moves. Next, change the speed of a moving object. Next, change the direction of a moving object and change the shape permanently. Last one, change the shape temporarily. Force can change the state of a body. As you can see that the person is at rest position. So when you apply force, the object will move. So a force can bring a stationary object into its motion. If a body is at rest, if we apply sufficient amount of force, so it will start to move. For example, we can move a ball which is at rest simply by applying a hit on it, which is a force. Another kind is from motion to rest. So a force can also stop a moving object. If the body is already moving, it can be stopped by applying force in the opposite direction of its motion. Example, you might have seen while playing cricket or soccer or tennis, we can stop a moving ball by just catching it or stopping it or hitting with the racket. All these are examples of applying a force. Second effect, a force can also change the speed of a moving object. We have seen that if you want to stop a moving object, we have to apply force in the opposite direction. What will happen if you apply force in the same direction of the motion of a moving object? So the speed of the body will increase. This is the best example. When a bicycle rider pedals fast, the speed of the cycle increases. If you apply the force in the same direction of the body's motion, the speed will increase. If you apply the force in the opposite directions of an object's motion, the speed decreases. For example, when we apply brakes, we can reduce the speed of a vehicle. Next effect, force can change the direction of a moving object. Have you seen the cricket match, right? When a batsman hits the ball, it together changes the speed as well as direction of the ball. So you can see here, this is the direction of the ball, and when he hit the ball with the bat, the direction and the speed of the ball changes. Next, force can change the dimensions of an object, that is its shape and size. When enough force can be applied of an object, its shapes can be changed. Bending a metal rod using a large muscular force. Another example, thrashing this can. Its shape is changed, dimension is changed, size is changed. Another example, pressing dough made of wheat flour to make chapati. Another is pot makers. These are all examples of force that can change the dimensions of an object. Next is change the shape temporarily. So here you can see that this is a elastic rubber band. When I started applying force, it stretches. When I stop applying forces, it comes back to its original position. So force can change the shape temporarily. So stretch a rubber band as you have seen just now. Squeeze a spring and press a sponge. What happens? All will come back to its original state. So an object that will return to its original shape and size after being squeezed, pressed or twisted and stretched is elastic in nature. Next is changes the shape permanently. The best example is the can. So if I apply more forces, what happens? You can see the size. It's completely changed. Few other examples, drop a glass and tear a piece of paper, that we always do, right? Crush an empty can. So you have seen it, right? So these are the changes that can happen permanently. So an object will not return to its original shape and size after being squeezed, pressed or twisted and stretched is inelastic in nature. So what we can conclude from this? The basic definition, force is a pull or push from one object to another. Comes to notice when at least two bodies interact. That is important. Another point, it is a physical quantity. It can change the speed of a moving object, can bring a moving body to rest, can stop a moving object, can change the shape of an object, can change the direction of a moving object. Thank you.